Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life. Guys, I got him. I don't know how I got him. It's costing me like a meal too just to get him for this hour. But Mr. David Cohen in the house. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Dude, are you about to have another kid?
I'm about to have another kid, man. On top of that, I'm about to have another girl. So I am...
Dude, you are my business partner. He texted me last night. He's about to have his second kid, another girl. He goes, can you just text me some aggressive man talk like once a week? Because my whole life is estrogen. I'm like...
Dude, we're sitting in the like the 4D thing, and they're waiting to hear what we're going to have. And I'm like, all right, go ahead. She's like, another girl. I was like, oh my God. And I go to her, I'm like, any chance you're wrong? She's like, I haven't been wrong in 8 years. I said, fuck, another girl.
You know what it is? It's not even the 2 to 4 to 6. It's the 16, bro. You're screwed.
What it is. Yeah. Like I watch
you got to sell. You need to start selling apartments now for 16. Yeah.
I watched my uncle go through it. And the way I realized that it works is, all right, they're born. They're with mom, right? Once they start to hit like 2.5, they become daddy's girls. Then they go to like 14 and they don't want anything to do with you until like 20. And then they slowly start to come back. So it's like, you know, and man, I watch my uncle, like, you know, his daughter tell her like, Dad, don't even give me a kiss. Like when he's dropping her off for school and stuff like that. And from what I hear, it's heartbreaking, man.
Dude, and here's the deal. My nieces, we have a lot of men in my family, a lot. Like there's like maybe 5 girls. They know just who to go to. Soft as butter, dude. I can't. The men, I'll be like, go out there and mow the lawn at like 2 years old. The girls, I'm like, whatever you want.
Yeah, that's how it works, dude. But you know what I've noticed? I mean, no disrespect to anybody who has you know, a son or whatever, but girls are the best, man.
Dude, they're so much better. I truly believe that every corporation should have a woman in charge at some point.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. You know, they're just better, man. I hate to say this being a man, but they're just smarter. They deal with shit better. You know, they're not as, you know, quick to act off of testosterone or, you know, whatever, like a manly, whatever we think may work, dude. They're just about it in all aspects. I walk around, I see dudes with, you know, with sons or mothers with their sons, and the kid is like going crazy at the mom, like screaming and yelling. I'm like, thank God I have a daughter. Thank God I have a daughter.
I love it. Guys, a little backstory. If you didn't listen to the first episode, David kind of went into his story about how he brought up, how he got in the real estate game. So David trades off-market apartments, big ones around the country. But that's not the news. The news is you started your own company, bro.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's a big move for you, man. I'm sure you sat on that for a while, huh?
You know, I never thought I would leave Keller Williams. Never thought I would leave Keller Williams. I accomplished so many amazing things there. You know, I did it all over there, and it just feels, you know, I want to grow. And for me to grow, I have to set myself in an uncomfortable position. It's just how I am by nature. If I don't push, if I don't change the just aesthetic or you know, change the scenery around me and go build, you know, that was what's next for me, was to go build something. You know, normally when something like this happens, there's a backstory, there's drama, there's, you know, all these fairy tales. None of it exists. You know, I was the number one commercial broker at Keller Williams for a long time, at the number one Keller Williams in the country, right? So with the biggest residential hitters, and I love everybody there. And it was just, I was given an offer I can't refuse. And not only that, I would be stupid to refuse. So, next for me is to build. I have no interest in being the number one real estate agent. I never have. Just happened to be like that, due to the size deals that I've sold. I want to be legendary, and there's a million successful realtors out there, not knocking successful realtors out there. But, when you die, none of that shit goes with you. You know what I mean?
Well, what I think is interesting about life, and I'm older than you, even though I look a little younger. I think that there are different seasons and transitions in your life. And what I've noticed with you over the last years, you went out and you hunted, and you're still hunting, but you went out and hunted and you let your results speak for yourself. But what I've seen more of you, and I think this is tied into the company, is there's a I heard this amazing stat in my coaching certification. You retain 30% of what you hear, you retain 30% of what you write, and you retain 80% of what you teach. And I think that you kind of had an interesting upbringing. You were kind of on the streets, played basketball. Just for me and the way we talk, I see that you have more joy in teaching other people that it's possible, even more than, $100 million real estate deal.
And I'm starting to find a passion for that. Not starting to find a passion for that. I already have a passion for that, but it's starting to grow. You know what I mean? For me, I get in a tough position at times because I want to do that because I love it, but I'm still 30 and I have a team of, younger agents that work with me that depend on me, and aside from that, my family still depends on me. So, there comes a situation where I can easily say, F that, let me put it aside and just do the coaching thing and probably make some good money. And, but my passion, what fuels me, what gets me out of bed every morning is still to create something out of nothing and find these bigger deals and put them together off market. But the coaching thing is something that is growing really fast. I only take on so many people because I'm still a real estate broker. I still love to do that. The day that I wake up and I say, man, this is, dreadful, or I don't feel like doing this anymore, then maybe I'll make the switch full time. But I love it. I love seeing the results. I love seeing people grow. I love finishing up like something or talking to someone about something, and then they turn to me and they're like, man, like, you have no idea. This blowed my mind. You remember the conversation we had when I was in Colorado, when I was having a rough, this was like 4 months ago, give or take. Yeah. When I was like I had lost my biggest client, shit was going south. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. It changed a lot. Like 6 figures, and holy shit, right? Like there was an opportunity, right? And having people like you in my corner that says, no, Austin, no, you do this, fucker, lean into this fucking shit. Don't you dare run from it. The only, as I am getting older and as, this whole situation, having another kid on the way at a young age, right? That'll give me 2 daughters and a stepdaughter who I love very much. So that's 3 daughters, right? All I'm realizing is, in those times that you kind of get down on first of all, if you're not overthinking, right? And you're not thinking, man, should I walk away? You're just like everybody else. You know what I mean? That overthinking shit is for the geniuses. You get me? You'd be up to nothing if you just never, was stressed out or having a million different thoughts in your head. But the only way to change the situation is to do it. It's just to apply, right? Apply the action, whether it's making a million calls, whether it's, the coaching, whether it's, just telling yourself, I'm going to get the hell up and I'm not going to feel like this anymore. It's just about doing it. And then it's easy. Too many people, many people just look at a million things and they try to do all those things to get to to get to the floor, when you just start at the floor. And if you just all those things will change by themselves. But I'm glad.
Thank you. What's interesting about entrepreneurship, as it just triggered in my head, is unlike a job where you have a salary and this is what you make. Let's say you have a shitty Monday. Well, you're still getting paid the same on Tuesday. But in entrepreneurship or working for yourself, you have a shitty Monday and there's no limit the next day. You could have an amazing day. A deal could come through, a client can close up. That's why I love it, because it can change just like that.
That is exactly what keeps me going. Exactly what keeps me going. I talk to so many people about this. There are days where I don't feel like doing this anymore. There are days where I will wake up and you have nothing, no deals to work on. And then in the matter of one phone call or one day, all of a sudden you got 10 things to work on. So in the beginning I would get, you kind of let it eat you. And now when you're at my level, it's like, dude, it doesn't matter. Whatever, you lose out on a deal, 10 more is going to come. It's just the way it happens.
One of the things I see, and I'm about to work on this with a new client, is especially when they're new to the business, this is investor or agent. Dude, they're so fixated on said deal. They've gone 7 scenarios deep with me. And then I have one question for them. Yeah. Do you have an offer in? No. Well, then what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah. And that's all, that's the goal too, right? All you got to do is more offers you get in, more chances you have at making a deal happen. Mm-hmm.
How do you teach yourself? Like, cause when you lose a deal or something goes sideways, you're losing. We're not talking about a $500,000 house. We're talking about multiple millions. How do you condition yourself? Is it just practice, or is there something that you tell yourself to create that abundant mindset?
Like, God has got a better plan for me than that deal I just lost. And that only comes by losing deals. See, in the beginning, you lose deals, you don't sleep. You're stressed. Wifey's looking at you like, you're watching TV, whatever movie, and after when work is supposed to shut off and you're at home and your mind is in the middle of nowhere, and people can see that. Your children notice. Why? Because you're so fixated on the income you could have made, right? Mm-hmm. You get to a point where you kind of realize, every life, it all happens for me, right? Not to me. Then you're good to go, because you just have to have faith. If you go into that mode from losing a deal, guess what? You have no faith. Someone whose faith is as strong as it needs to be realizes it's not for them anyways. Mm-hmm. So nothing to stress about.
Yeah. The last 2 weeks, I think I've lost somewhere north of like $60,000 or whatever the fuck you want to call it, of commitments that didn't come through, and so on and so on. And like in the past, like that really would have like spun me for a loop. I literally don't care anymore, because it's about not getting caught up in the details. It's about abundant surrender. Let's go move. Because here's the deal. You know what it takes for me money-wise to impact one person a day? Fucking nothing.
That's facts.
And so the question is, if that's my legacy, then who gives a fuck how much money I make?
That's facts. You can't take it with you when you die. But all that, everything else, right? You impacting people's lives, you do take that with you when you die. Mm-hmm. I don't make everybody's outlook on that stuff is different, on God, sure, spirituality, whatever. But the karma does go with you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The money doesn't. And that's what it's about. I love nothing more than sitting, talking with an individual one-on-one, and kind of, just letting them know how I do things. And if they do it, it will work for them. And then watching it work, it's a beautiful thing. Getting a text message from them like, hey man, you changed my life, or you changed my outlook, or you changed my perspective on whatever set you taught me. It's a game changer. It's a game changer.
But I had this weird dream, like kind of something I think about. I would love to be like 65, 80 years old, walking down the street in Italy, and somebody yells out my name, and like he runs across the street and like fucking hugs me and goes like, "Hey, dude, like I quit using fucking meth because of you. Like I heard your podcast like 10 years ago. This is my kid." Like that right there would send me into another stratosphere.
Yeah, that's real purpose. You know what I mean? For me, it even sounds crazy that I say this. It's just, that's the stuff that really matters. You know what I mean? Not everything else, not how much money you have, what kind of car you drive, how big your house is. That's the shit that really matters is how many lives you can impact, right? Because that's what they say, right? Like my uncle's one of his favorite, sayings is, life is about finding your gift and then giving it away.
Yes,
it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. 10 years ago, I wouldn't even think like that. Right. But
no, and I think I tell everybody, if you truly want to see a company's culture, you look at the top, right? And I know that even though it's newer to you, I can already tell you in 5 to 10 to 6 years what the Cohen Company will look like, because the culture will be based off of your values and what you value. Now here's the rub. This is what people don't get. And this is where it gets dicey. You can still have swagger and walk with purpose. That's the rub. Look, guys, I'm just as competitive as everybody else. I want to do great because the more money I make, the more I can impact. But I do it to myself. There's an internal swagger that I'm trying to roll with, and that's just a personal conversation. It does not need to come out in my social media. It doesn't need to come out when I'm in a group of people. And that's where I don't jive with some people out there because I think what the rub is, and you probably see this too when you coach people, is what they're portraying. It's pretty scary what's actually under the hood a lot of the times.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You couldn't have said it better. It's, don't get me wrong, right? There's times when you need to, you have to flex. Why not? It's normal. But I think for me also, what rubs me the wrong way about that, maybe not even rubs me the wrong way, but it just, it's a little different for me is I've been blessed, knock on wood, in my field to accomplish shit that, maybe not even the 1%, right? Definitely no one near my age has with deal sizes or whatever. So it's like, and what I learned on that level is that the people on that level, they don't give a shit about shit. You know what I mean? They're literally, they don't care what kind of car people drive, how braggart. If anything, they don't want you to know anything that they've done, right? They like to stay under wraps. And that's why society these days too worried about, impressing and putting out, making sure that, that their thing is bigger than everybody else. We're trying to show it, that it's bigger than everybody else. But in reality, it just makes you look that much smaller. You want to know what you want to impress me, do something I've never done before. You know what I mean? Like do and whatever. And that's why, because in real estate, chances are it's not going to come. But for example, yourself impacting so many people, and people actually, I get on calls with people you introduced me to, and they're, telling me how you change your lives and what an amazing person you are. That's impressive, right? People doing, accomplishing amazing things in other fields that I never, that's impressive. Right. And you kind of know who's genuine and who's not. Just social media is like the David Blaine of everything these days. This is not, you're not putting a resume out or job interview for people where I'm merely just trying to get under the hood and kind of, this is a big decision for you to start your own company. You're the boss now. You don't have other people to look at. Like, anybody that's coming to work for you, like, what are the requirements, right? Like on a day-in, day-out basis. Yeah. So, Today I actually had my first like team meeting, right? For me, it's different because not only is my team growing in itself, I'm basically opened up a commercial real estate firm, right? A brokerage. So I have to manage other people that are not part of my team. And for those people, they can send resumes, right? Agents that want to join, it's different. But for my actual team, which is what matters to me, and what I dedicate most of my time to, we don't just hire. You know what I mean? We don't just put an ad out there and you send me a resume and I don't care what you've sold. You know what I mean? Something has to be there. So, the people that are on my team, they come from referrals from people I care about. They come from just me, certain people I met on the street. Could be the freaking bus driver, the pizza man, you never know. You know what I mean? Something there just has to click. Two of them were coaching students of mine. You know what I mean? Something there just has to click. But the requirement number one is to be a good person, be a likable person. You know what I mean? Not be braggadocious. Just be someone that's easy to work with. A good person. And then we got a cold call. We're cold callers by nature. Got to be open to constructive criticism. We kind of and we're a bit outside the box. See why they're lucky is because I was the nobody. I was the guy doing all the work and reaping none of the rewards. I've been through the shitty splits. I've been, everything. And I don't offer them that. So they get to skip, all that. Because I'd like to think that because I went through all that, I kind of know what someone would prefer starting out rather than what someone wouldn't prefer. You know what I mean? Because I've done it all. It's not like I just got, plugged in and started at the top and I'm just giving out everything else people do. A lot of my guys are most of them are on 50-50 splits that are new. And when I say 50-50, I'm talking 50-50 of like larger deals, right? Other ones are, I literally ask, hey, what's your split? And they'll tell me their split and I'll just beat it. You know why? Because I can, because I'm not relying on them also to do business.
So it's eerie how similar we are. So everybody knows I spent 20 plus years in the hospitality business, hotels, sold wine, all that kind of stuff. I had a dream back then when I was like 18, 21. And I wish this would have happened to me. I wish I worked in LA and would have ran into you. I dreamed that somebody came along and saw that I was great at what I did and shook me so hard that got me into real estate. And so everybody thinks that I'm doing all my companies because I want to. No. I'm doing those so I can go look at that server, that busser, that car attendant and go, hey, man, you got what it takes. You want a fucking job with some winners? Let's go create a life. That's why the fuck I want to do it.
Yeah, because, people don't get that chance ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing about, doing podcasts with you, doing podcasts with other people. What I realized is the world is so much bigger than just Los Angeles, California. Mm-hmm. There's people in other states that couldn't even dream about doing the stuff that we've done, and to them, it's big to people here. Imagine to the person out there who never had a shot. Right. And they have tons of potential and they could probably be the biggest, best, whatever, in the world, but they'll never get a shot to even prove their worth because they just don't have that around them.
I just interviewed one of my friend's wives, and she's in law school, about to graduate. They're crushing it in real estate. She's going to go work for him. And she had a kid. She went to college when she was 15, graduated when she was 18, had a kid, like graduated college at 18, and had a kid, took 3 years off, and then went to law school. And I said to her, hey, what was so special about you that you gave yourself the permission to go after your dreams? That's the difference. So many people, moms, dads that are in a job or in somewhere that have a gift or have a passion that just around the right people in the right environment can become like, they don't need to be us. You don't have to have multiple companies, but they want a good place to work. And that's one of the things I value about teaming up with Maddie, my mentor in this hotel group, is like, I know that we're going to be number one in the boutique hotel space because we don't give a fuck about the unit count or how much money we're making. You know what we care about? What culture are we creating? How are we serving the people that are helping us grow this empire? And when we nail that, you can't touch us. That's the difference.
Because the picture is bigger than money, right? Which drives people to you. You create a good culture. People want to work with you. It will get to a point, people would rather be more comfortable here, right, than take more money. Mm-hmm. So in a heartbeat,
So we got a call on Thursday. I kind of had this manifestation of a company that I'm create. I haven't even spoke to you about it yet, but it kind of came into my vision, and it's my legacy company. It's a media company with 4 different sectors. Podcasting. I've never talked about this. Podcasting, sales, with business coaching, and then M&A and funding and raising money. And I've got the managers in place for each position. And I've had multiple conversations with, I call them the Avengers. These are the best at what they do, super smart. You know how much they've asked me how much money they're going to make? You know how many times they've done it?
Zero.
Haven't even mentioned it. They're bought into the vision. They're bought into the mission. They're bought into who I am as a person. They know I will serve them, treat them well. That's when shit's about to take off.
Exactly. And when you know that it's for real, right? When you know that they're obviously excited about what they're getting themselves into, because the last question is always, okay, so how much money are we going to make? Mm-hmm. Right? When someone doesn't even ask that, there's trust there. It's so much deeper than income. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful thing and a dangerous place to be in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I would have ventured to guess, like, dude, I'd give up almost everything to be 20 again and to go roll with you, bro. If you got me when I was 18 out bartending, dude, there wouldn't have been a cage big enough for this motherfucker. I would have just saddled up right next to you and said, whatever you say, sir, let's go to work. Yeah, that's exciting, man.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's like I said, we had our first meeting today, and for me, it's still raw, right? You know what I mean? It's not something I'm used to, but hey, we roll with the punches, and through trial and error, it becomes a machine. If I can do this here, right, I can do it anywhere, and that's the goal. Right. Mm-hmm. That's the goal, to have, to literally just have a brokerage in every major market. I think, and this is my vision of the way I see it, because I see it different than y'all, because I have to market around it and I coach people that are building brokerages. I believe that the real estate agent space, but mainly commercial, is so antiquated in the way that they operate that this market is only ready for a disruption. Like, it is the disruption. It's so old school and done on backwards BS that with tech, like the way that we look at my New York client, technology-based, mission-driven, podcast-driven, like this way, you really have the opportunity to create whatever you want, because it's only been done a certain way for so long. That, you know what? That is exactly the way I look at it. And that is what, some of the biggest institutions that I work with, that's what they appreciate about me, right? Because this is such a already drawn out, written business, right? That you're supposed to do things a certain way, look a certain way, call a certain way, list properties a certain way. When in necessity, not necessarily true. If you kind of look outside the box, I can get that done 10 times easier, 10 times bigger, right? With 10 times more value and bring 10 times more exposure to our brand if we do it our way. We kind of, yes, it just takes, it's a little bit outside the box and it takes a little bit more, prospecting and stuff like that. But it's a place where people will want to work, right? Because you don't have to go start off and make zero and be the guy that cold calls, for 5 years, 100 dials a day and gives 50% of whatever you make to someone else. And then, another 50% out of your 50% to the brokerage house and have someone over your shoulder every day wondering how many calls you made and are you on par? And, it's just different. We sell $1 million buildings. We sell $100 million buildings. Why not? You want us to list your property? No problem. We can do that too. It will be a one-stop shop for anything and everything commercial real estate eventually. Right now, it's multifamily based because, I'm an expert in multifamily. We're starting to get offices. I have an office building for sale for like $16 million. I just signed one of my agents, not that we'll get into the property management space, but one of my agents, for the last, 10 years was a property manager, like one of the biggest property management companies in California. So and he's chasing deals. So not that we'll go into the property management space, but we arise at a problem, and a deal with what can we do with these tenants? What can we do with that? Guess who knows? He does. And in California, it's a that happens a lot. We just different. I want to build something different. I want to build something big. The brokerage house that I opened and partnered up with. We're in Beverly Hills. We're in Woodland Hills. We're in Studio City. We're in Miami. We're about to be in Dallas, and I'm excited.
So I got a youngish kid that I coach in New Jersey, in New York area, who's doing great this month. He's crushing it. He's going to be taking over the New Jersey expansion for the company. And I asked him, I said, how would you build a team? And I said, wait, let me answer that for you. You think that you would build your team on a bunch of people that look like you, talk like you, sound like you, right? And he goes, yeah. I go, wrong. I said, you're in New York. There's multiple different businesses. I said, you need to find somebody that's an agent that has finance backgrounds. You need to find somebody that was on Broadway, who's an agent now, who has Broadway art people. You have to treat this like a baseball team. Do you cover all the bases? I have a friend who used to be a barrel racer in Texas, and all she does is sell $5 million ranches all day long because the people know her. You've got to get a group of people together that service different sectors of business to round out a whole brokerage, not just the same people doing all the same things.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And the thing is, when you don't want to be that thing when other things arise with things that you're not familiar, right? To have to outsource to people, because this is America, dude. Even to talk to somebody for 5 minutes about what you need to know, they're going to charge you, right? And even if they don't and you do it on the limb, it won't be as good as just having it in house. How many things in house can you have? Can you property management? I got a guy that's an agent from healthcare.
Yes, I already got you with that, bro. Don't even worry about that. One of my dudes is building up a monster in the health insurance space. They're going to need a lot of real estate. It's like, dude, that's what it's about, man. Like 90% of it is like, can you solve the problem internally? And how quickly can you do that? Get them the answer. You know what we have a problem with in America? Saying, I don't know.
That's true.
How about, I don't know, but what somebody asked me the other day? Tell me this, David, why the hell do I coach 5 wholesalers around the country when I've never wholesaled a property a day in my life? And they say, what are you going to teach me, wholesaling? Nope. But I know the best ones in the country if you want to meet them.
No. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's your network is your net worth, right? And and that's a beautiful thing about the way that I like to hire, right? It's not because it's so untraditional, and I'm not just because you put an ad out there for you put an ad out there for real estate agents, right? Guess who's going to come? People who've only done real estate all their life. You know what I mean? The beautiful thing about just other people who want to get into real estate, and you kind of meet them, and you just have that click. You'll know. First of all, you'll know if they're for you or not for you, right? Or if you guys are meant to work together. And chances are, when they're referred to you through other people, or you meet them, like the pizza guy or the bank teller or whatever, they come from other backgrounds, so they bring so much more to the table. So much more to the table than just than freaking someone just like you who's done real estate all their life. What am I going to learn from someone?
Well,
right?
You know what's interesting? It really hit me. So I was at the Dallas Cowboys Club in Dallas with an Airbnb client who lived in the penthouse, right? And we're sitting next to the Cowboys coach, and I'm sitting there and with his wife, and we're talking about their Airbnb, and I'm sitting there going, man, I'm thinking about the waiters. I did this for so long. I'm thinking like, wow, I fucking wasted my fucking time, right? And then in that moment, I ordered their bottle of wine for them, and I was talking about the whiskey he was drinking, and when I went to the distillery, and then when I was in France, and it clicked. Oh, that's why I know so much about hospitality and wine and liquor, so I can talk to really affluent people and share my experience and my story. This was all happening for me.
Exactly.
Why can Austin talk so quickly, be on phone calls with multiple people he doesn't know? Is because I've had 2.7 million conversations as a bartender, as selling wine. It's all happening for you.
Yeah. That's what I think, like what am I going to learn from some person who sends me a resume that they've done real estate all their life? Nothing, probably not a damn thing. But, from someone who wants to come into real estate that's been in the healthcare space, in the hospitality space, and, a bank teller, a pizza delivery guy, I could probably learn so much more, even from the pizza delivery guy, about hustle, about grit, about showing up on time, about, making sure you're hitting your routes, whatever. And all that can translate into whatever you make it, right on my team right now, right? It's myself. I got another young agent who's extremely well. He's just a young hustler. I got another gentleman who we brought on, who's just an amazing individual, and he's a hell of a real estate broker, and he sells snakes for a living. I got literally make more than six figures, well over six figures as a side business, selling and breeding snakes. Right. I got another guy who just joined us from he's an amazing person. He's getting his license soon, so he's just going to jump right in. He's been in the healthcare business for like 10 years and like customer relations, right? The last 10 years. Then my other guy, he's been in the property management game for like 10 years. So everybody, brings a different element, different diversity, different hustle, and, the conversations that I'm having with my guy who also sells snakes as a side business, it's amazing because I'm learning so much, you know what I mean? And vice versa. And no, it's not just about, I've been doing real estate for 30 years and, I sell these properties or whatever. That's a boring conversation because that's people you deal with every day already.
Dude, the real estate space is the most boring fucking conversation on the planet. Exactly. I mean, I literally could not put me to sleep. Like, I don't think I've ever talked real estate with my mentor, ever.
You want to talk about things, shit you don't know, shit that, excite, stuff that's going to excite you, stuff that you're not used to, stuff you don't know, things that baffle you. What do you mean you sell snakes for $30,000? It's like,
dude, I tell you a true story because it's not about how much you make or whatever, what it means, right? So there's a kid, listen to the podcast, text me, and he said, hey, I used to be addicted to cocaine. I'm not anymore. I'm a young dad. Like, I want to get into real estate, blah, 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 blah. Okay. He goes, I'll fly to anywhere where you are. right? I'm in Georgetown at this time. And I look on his account and it says Round Rock. I go, hey, fuckhead, you're 4 minutes away from me. How about you just drive? And he goes, oh, I'll do that too. So he comes out to lunch. And so he works at Verizon, right, for 10 years with health insurance. And I said, what are you doing for extra money? And he says, at night, I'm delivering pizzas. And I said, stop. I said, stop what you're doing. You're coming to work for me. He goes, just like that? I go, the fact that you have a kid and you're hustling and delivering pizzas at night tells me everything I need to know. And what's happening now? Now he's helping me out in his business. He's getting coached by one of my buddies. Like that one DM he sent. And by the way, he sent me a DM because I mentioned I love to mow grass on my podcast. And he was like, I love to mow grass too.
Wow.
Like that one thing right there might change his family's life for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
shoot your shot.
My favorite quote ever is shoot or shoot.
Yes, dude. My underwriter, multifamily guy, is the smartest guy I know. All he sends, he doesn't even talk to me besides this one text: shoot or shoot. Go, baby.
You know, we work on, man. There's stuff that it's like beyond, just huge numbers, and there's no chance in hell that 100 whatever. $35 million is going to be my biggest deal by the time I die. No way in hell, because I just, every day we just find deals that are bigger than that. And it's about throwing offers at them. And, and the way we look at it is if we don't try, we won't know, right? That's the problem. People already fail, the minute they think about if they even should do it, because I'm, and that's it. I'm unable to, or I won't be able to.
So Jim Rome is the OG. He's my dude. And his favorite quote that he says is, you want to know what the top 1% that others don't do? They ask. If you do not ask or put offers in or seek, or you fail before you even put on your socks, you don't even have the opportunity to get told no. So you might as well shoot.
I was coaching someone the other day on Thursday, and we're going through kind of how I do things, and I showed him kind of how I respond, basically via email, right? And I reach out to this guy. I asked him if there's a price in mind that would get him to sell. The guy responds to me, not necessarily looking to sell, but something around X amount of the price. Would get us to make a move. So he's like, and I'm showing him like, look, and then we push, I send an LOI. He's like, fucking A, you see me, he's talking about himself, right? He's like, me, as soon as that guy tells me that I'm not necessarily thinking to sell, or I'm not necessarily, I don't necessarily want to sell. I'm thinking it's a waste of my time. And I'm like, you see, that's where you and I differentiate from each other. Because the way I'm looking at it is it's not a waste of my time, because if it was, why the fuck would he even give me a price? Mm-hmm. You're going to take your time out of your day to give me a price, right? Once you're giving me a price, now listen, if it's absurd, it's a different story, right? But if it's anywhere near reality, and if you really weren't open to selling, why the hell would you even bother giving me a price?
I think the two qualities that can really get you to where you need to go is resiliency and persistence.
Absolutely. Persistence, top of the list for me.
I am like a crazy ex-girlfriend. If you don't give me the answer I want, I will fucking text you every morning until I get the response.
We don't stop. We don't stop. There in my business, it's very easy to think, you're having a good conversation with someone and they're like, all right, I'll send you the financials. And then they disappear on you for like 3 weeks. We don't stop. Every 3 days, you're going to hear from me. Hey, just checking in on this, just checking in on this. And eventually what happens is, they send it, like my juniors, they start going crazy. Oh, did they ghost us? I'm like, dude, just chill. Just keep reaching out. And then
tranquila.
Out of nowhere, it just comes through. You know what I mean? Whatever you were waiting for comes through, and then you're like, see, I told you.
So Matt at his peak was flipping between 140 to 170 houses a year. Well, they went through 2 years ago and looked at all their deals, And they found out that 68% of the deals happen on the 8th offer or contact.
Yeah. Follow up is everything, man. Follow up is key. Follow up is key. Will you sell deals on your first time, second time, third time hitting someone up? Absolutely. But it's the later stuff that you're setting, you're planting seeds. That's another thing is when you're hitting up people to sell, right? That's why we never stop at no. That's the first thing I try to teach people. You don't stop at no, because if you're stopping at no, you're not extracting any information from someone. And how do you know that if you extract information from someone, you're not going to find out that, there's a certain hold period. So they will sell in 2 years or in 5 years or in 10 years or whatever whatever the situation they think hinders them from selling, that, you with a great buyer can overcome.
Life happens. Shit changes. People get divorced. Business opportunities change every day.
Every day. I can call someone today and they'll give me a no, and you call someone tomorrow and you'll get everything.
You know what's interesting? I tell everybody, read the book now. 6 months from now, you're a different person. Read it again. The book sounds different.
Exactly. Yeah. it's life happens, dude. And people's mood change. Monday is different from Friday, right? So I may contact someone on Friday and they just had a beer, a couple of beers or whatever, and they're going to give me a price, when on Monday they wouldn't even talk to, my other cold caller. Instant gratification. Does it happen? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But planting the seeds, it's
and by the way, if you are new and that does happen, sorry to rain on your parade. It's called the law of favorability. Okay. Yeah. And when you start something, the universe rewards you in the beginning and then beats your ass up after that first one to see how bad you want it.
Absolutely. It happens to the best of us, happens to everybody. Right. And it takes for you to go through that to realize what it's really worth.
One of the greatest things, my buddy, this guy who's very successful in business, he was very bad at drug dealer. And he decided to turn his life around. He told the universe and God, I am going to be a leader of men. And he said, then God proceeded to beat my fucking ass for 2 years. And then he was like, okay, you really want this. I'm going to give it to you. And that's really what it is. But I wouldn't have it any other way, because it's what shaped me. It's what made me. It's these things. And it's part of who I am. It's less about what I've accomplished, and it's more about what's built me. Because that's really the rub.
I tell people all the time, when you're born rich and you make money, it's very easy to keep money because you already, it's instilled in you what to do with it. But when you come from nothing and all of a sudden you make a lot of money, it takes for you to blow all that money, right? And then go make it again to realize what it's really worth. And that's just reality. Because chances are, when you go through a system, that's why kids in today's world, whether you born rich or you're not born rich, and you go make money, you're in a different place than I was, than you were, right? Because you can literally just go on YouTube and find out what to do with your money. There was none of that. Even when I turned 18 in 2009, right? There was none of that still. There, even not until I was, not until 2-3 years ago, can you really go on YouTube and find out, how to invest, there was no fucking fame,
Excuse me.
Bigger podcast.
My favorite person in the entire world, Alex Hermosi, who makes $1.4 million a week. This dude owns 6 businesses, is giving his shit away for free. You can't, I listen to it every morning. You can't find better information in a book, and that's free. And there's still motherfuckers out there that are bitching and moaning that the world owes them something.
I mean, imagine they had that shit in fucking 90s, in the early 2000s. It would be a game changer. My mother, it's funny. It has nothing to do with real estate, but when we were kids and we were teenagers, we're always into cool shit. People used to think we're a little bit more popular than others. My mom used to make jokes you guys should follow you guys should get a camera and just film everything you guys do on a daily basis. And I'm like, Mom, are you fucking crazy? Like, who the fuck wants, what are we, retarded? And obviously, excuse me for saying that word, but and look at now, freaking kids play with toys and make millions.
Okay, but look, that's not the one I can't. Okay, look, I'm okay with everything. Really, I'm open to crypto. I'm, all the stuff. Kids making slime. The one I can't wrap my head around is other kids watching other kids play video games.
That's
the one I can't.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to love NBA Jam. I want to play for myself. I don't want to watch other people play NBA Jam.
It's insane, dude. Hundreds of millions of views, like 60 million. You know
what they've been doing, right? They're doing that, and they're kind of sneaking business stuff in there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like it's super smart.
Absolutely.
And captive audience. Yeah.
Podcasts getting bought out and stuff like that. And it's just, we're in a different world. We're literally in a world where you can fall on 50 grand, 100 grand and go just literally YouTube how to quadruple it. You know what I mean? And that's it. You just follow the formula and it'll work.
You know what I do respect about the younger age? I know a lot of people dog on them. I don't. But what I do respect about the younger age is they're not acceptable of a $50K salary like it's the be all end all. That's not even the starting point anymore. And I totally respect the shit out of that.
You know what the beautiful thing about younger people these days that I see is they're, because of everything that's around them, they're just on different wavelengths. They 18 years old, 17 years old, they're already about how do I buy property? How do I do this?
I got a 24-year-old down in Texas. He's got 870 units.
See?
Like it's fucking crazy.
All I was worried about at their age is how big my blunt's going to be. Like literally, literally, dude, not even kidding, and it's just like, it's beautiful. It's fucking awesome, man. They're just, and they have the world at their fingertips, so the ones that do take advantage of it, way ahead of, I have a 21-year-old kid that I'm coaching. And, he's just I got him like dialing all these bigger properties for me just to bring a deal. And he like gets stressed out because he's bringing stuff with prices. And then I'm telling him like, hey, it's not worth it. Just keep going. And you can see stressed out. And he's like, man, what do you tell yourself? I'm like, man, let me tell you something. You are so fucking far ahead,
dude.
So far ahead, you have no idea. Like whatever I'm telling you right now, just times it by like 100.
Dude, I got 4 23 and under coaching clients. I literally tell them, guys, you are 15 years younger than me. Just do this for the next 3 years and you'll be retired at 30.
Exactly, dude. And he kind of takes a step back. He's like, all right. But it's unbelievable.
You know what I told him this morning? Do you know why it doesn't hurt that much when you fail? Because all you're falling from the couch to the floor.
That's true. That's absolutely.
You ain't got nothing. Fucking shoot your shot.
When time is on your side, right? And that's all they have is time on their side. You're way ahead of everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. It is very, very, very possible for an older individual to accomplish extraordinary things. The problem is he's got to be right, like on the money when they do it, right? And they get to feel. You know
what it is? Anthony, my co-host does this argument. Like, how back in the olden days in the Civil War, it used to be on a boat or a ship. And they couldn't waste their cannonball shot, right? So they would shoot pistols to see the trajectory, and then they would shoot the cannon. So you as young guys have a machine gun, and us older guys have to have a sniper rifle.
Exactly. And it's got to hit, it's just like, I think it was Jim Rohn that was talking about it that I was listening to. It was like a motivational speech. And he was just saying like, when you're younger, you have time on your side. So it's much easier to fail forward. Right. And you just have to be on point, when you're older, because it's much harder to accomplish extraordinary things with little time left than it is with a lot of time. But nonetheless, people should never get discouraged. You should never, ever, never get discouraged. Never give up, never think. Listen, if a human being has done it, anybody can do it. Literally.
Damn straight. And if you haven't, like wherever you've gone, you've only used like 20% of where you could actually go. Like the moment that you start like, and I'm sure you felt this, and we'll wrap it up here. The moment that you start breaking barriers in business, that's when you go, oh, whatever the fuck I want. Here's what's weird. And this is just weird. So I have a coaching client who's big in affiliate marketing. Everybody knows I'm a networker. So I've been getting into this, like recommending software or masterminds or something. I've made $3,000 in the last 2 weeks for sending a sentence or an email. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, it's really whatever you want it to be. That's $3,000, baby. I don't need it to live on, but that's extra money. So don't tell me that was 6 words.
Crazy. It's crazy, man. Life is a beautiful thing. You know, once you like realize, you know, the true potential of your thoughts and your actions put together, you can do anything. You can make, you know, if it's money, you can make it out of thin air. Literally, you know.
Dude sells snakes for $30,000, baby. This is my dude. I can't wait to hang out with this guy.
And that's on the low end, dude. That's on the low end.
That's my dude. So if people want to follow the journey, they want to see about the new company, how would they do that?
Yeah, we you know, they can follow me on Instagram. It's at the David Cohen. You know, we just have our company page. It's Cohen Company. And you know, all of that will be growing, but you know, otherwise they could just, you know, just stay close, man. Everything we, thank God, everything we do kind of makes noise. So, you know, if anybody ever needs any advice or you know the deal, Austin, they can reach out.
Yeah, all you got to do is DM the guy. He will literally open up the doors. But that's not what I'm so excited about. What I can't wait to do is to come down to the new office and Austin Linney leads a sales training meeting. That's what I can't wait to do.
Yeah. You let me know, dude.
But let it be known, when I come in, I'm gonna be strutting. I'm gonna put on my finest. You'll still be in your tracksuit, but I'm gonna roll up in there like I mean business.
You're going to need to here.
I know, dude.
You're gonna want to.
I told everybody when I go to New York for my clients, I can't let them see one inch of fear. You got to come in there fucking ripping metal. You know, it's a different world, you know? This is,
you know, it's, yeah, you'll see. It's, you know, it's super cool, super modern. You know, yeah, you'll like, I can't wait. It'll be dope.
Can't wait. Well, I appreciate it, my brother.
Thank you.
You got it, guys. Yeah, if you like this episode, send it out to your friend, share it with somebody that'll get some value from it. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Construct Your Life with Austin Linney. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to start constructing your life by taking immediate action on what you learned. For show notes, resources, and more information on one-on-one coaching with Austin, visit constructyourlifepodcast.com.